Hello first years, welcome again. Today we are going to see from the enzymes chapter Michaelis-Menten equation. We have seen this Michaelis-Menten equation before, but this would be a revision video for you. So who was Michaelis-Menten and what is this equation all about? So as we are studying enzymes as a chapter, we know that enzymes are the catalyst. We know that the enzymes are required to increase the rate of reaction. However, when I say, okay, enzyme is increasing the rate of reaction, 1 hour reaction gets converted to an half an hour reaction or a 1 or 15 minutes reaction for that matter. But I am not able to understand how or measure the rate of reaction, because I can just tell, okay, it is increasing or decreasing, but how much is not able to be we cannot be understood by us, and hence to measure what is happening and what is the rate of reaction amount which is increasing or decreasing, we should have some kind of a mathematical equation which will help us to measure that. And Michaelis-Menten were scientists who have come up with this equation, okay, who have come up with the equation and were determining the rate of reaction. So the overall equation assumes that this is the reaction which is written on the screen, which is enzyme when acted upon by on the substrate gives me an enzyme substrate complex, and this enzyme substrate complex later ends up into a product, and enzyme comes out as it is being a catalyst. So a constant for a forward reaction of formation of ES complex is K1. The constant used for forward reaction for breakdown of ES is K2, whereas for breakdown of ES in the backward direction is K minus 1. So it is written very well in the given thing, okay. So Michaelis-Menten derived equation on the basis of steady state assumption. So I will talk about this steady state assumption quite later, but this is what he has assumed. So for every mathematical equation we assume x is something, y is something. Similarly, Michaelis-Menten also assumed that there is something called as a steady state, which means the reaction is going in a smooth pace, and he assumed steady state. I'll tell you what does that mean. Initially, just imagine, this is all imaginary thing I have to imagine when I am talking. Initially, when I start the reaction, so when a reaction is getting started, what happens? Product is negligible. Why the product is negligible? Imagine I have a beaker, I have put my E and I have a substantial amount of S, but I have just started the reaction on E and S are just forming ES, so which means product is not yet formed. So my product is almost negligible at the start of the reaction. Everybody agrees to me? Next, so the percentage rate of reaction. So when at the initial point of time, when I say what is the rate of reaction initially, that is V0, it is the formation of, it is K2 into ES, that is agar product ban raha hai initially, if at all product is being made initially, then it would be made only, it would form only when there is a breakdown of ES, and the breakdown of ES if happening by the forward reaction with a constant K2, then only a product is going to form, and hence my initial rate of reaction is K2 into ES. So everybody should be on the same page now. Everybody should understand what am I saying. So if the product is formed initially, then it is ideally by K2, which is my constant, into the reactant here, which is a ES. Okay, so this I have marked as an equation 2. As ES cannot be measured, now my aim was to determine the velocity, and I have got an equation. Great, I am happy. But I cannot be happy. Why? Because I do not know what is K2. Do I know? No. I do not know what is ES. I should know the concentration of ES. If I have put up a beaker and have put E and S, I don't know at some point, at given point of time, how much ES concentration is there. Correct? And hence, as the ES concentration is not known to us, we have to measure it somehow. So if not practically, then experimentally. So what is an alternative? So as an alternative to determine the concentration of ES, we have assumed 2-3 things. What are those 2-3 things? First thing is ET, which is the total enzyme concentration. ET minus ES is when I have total number of 10 molecules of enzyme and few molecules get stuck up with the substrate and form an ES complex, then the total number of 10 minus maybe 3 ES are formed, then 7 are nothing but free enzyme. So my ET minus ES will give me which all enzymes are sitting free. So I have three things now. I have a total number of enzymes ET, I have E attached to substrate which is ES, and I have free enzyme which is ET minus ES. At this juncture, I should know that the substrate is always in the higher concentration than the enzyme. So for any particular reaction, my substrate will always be in higher concentration than that of enzyme, because enzyme is a catalyst. Absolutely. So coming ahead or going ahead, we are going to the step 1. You remembered me telling that my Michaels-Menten have thought of steady state assumption. So what is a steady state assumption? They said that using a steady state assumption, that the rate of formation of ES is equal to the rate of breakdown of ES. What does this mean? That we have seen a reaction which is E plus S giving ES, which gives E plus P. So if at all I take the central ES concentration, because I am interested in that, because I was not able to know the ES, because I have already determined the equation 2, which is V0 is equal to K2 into ES. तो अभी मुझे ES क्या है वो जानना है. I have to know what is it experimentally. So ES formation was dependent upon K1 as my starting as a constant, and my starting materials to make the ES were E and S. So my rate of formation of ES was KT1 into ES. Here E is the free enzyme. If you remember me telling that free enzyme is nothing but the total enzyme minus the enzyme which are actually bounded to the substrate. So E can also be substituted by ET minus ES. So my rate of formation is now written by the equation number 4. Rate of ES breakdown was, if you remember, was done by two ways. One, to form a product. Second, to reform your substrate. So it was with K minus 1 as a constant, ES was breaking down, or with K2 as a constant, ES was breaking down. In the first thing, it was breaking down into its initial enzyme and substrate, and due to second, it was getting your breakdown into your enzyme and product. Okay, so now when I have two equations ready with me which shows rate of formation and rate of breakdown, I again come to the steady state equation. Steady state equation state that when the reaction is going on properly in a steady state, then the rate of formation is equal to the rate of breakdown. So rate of formation is equal to rate of breakdown, and hence they are equated, your equation 4 and equation 5. So doing that, they have opened these brackets. You can see here K1 is multiplied to ET and S. I get K1 ETS, and K1 is multiplied to ES and S, and I get K1 ESS. This remains as it is. Now because I have to take ES in common, I make all this wala thing to come here. So what I get is the step 3 where K1 ETS is equal to this which was already existing, and I have taken ES as common. So I have K1S, can you see this? K minus 1 and K2, and in the bracket I have ES. And this is remaining as it is. So I have taken this to my right hand side, left hand side to right hand side. Okay. So now because I am interested in determining the ES concentration, I will solve the equation for the ES. So as I have ES here, this entire thing will come to the denominator. So this has come to the denominator, and I have ES forming E1, K1 ETS, that is this, divided by this entire term K1S plus K minus 1 plus K2. So I have now I have all the constant coming together. So I have just taken this divided by this plus this divided by this. So what I did is K1 ETS upon K1S. यहाँ पे K1 cut हो गया. So what am I remaining with? Only S here because K1 is now cut. और ये वाले term को अगर मैंने divide किया तो K1 तो इसमें common नहीं है. तो what I have done? K1 मैंने नीचे ले लिया as a denominator. So I have ETS upon S plus K minus 1 plus K2 upon K1. So if you see here, I have this entire K1, K2, K minus 1, all the constant of forward and backward reactions together clubbed up, which Michaels-Menten named as Michaels-Menten constant. So this is a Michaels-Menten constant which is named as Km, which is going to be replaced in place of all the constant which are coming together, which is K minus 1, K2 plus K2 upon K1. So I get an equation for enzyme substrate concentration as Et into S upon S plus Km. Now I have to assume that the maximum velocity. Now I was talking about initial velocity. When initial velocity was going on, V0 was equal to K2 into ES, and I was not knowing what is ES, so I did all steady state assumptions. I determined rate of formation of ES, I determined rate of breakdown of ES, I equated them and ultimately got one equation, then came up with new Michaels-Menten constant Km, and then I have got this equation number 10 finally. Now when I have a maximum velocity, so I think I will stop my video here. Okay, chalo, we'll continue. Maximum velocity occurs when the enzyme is saturated. So what am I saying? Whenever I want a maximum velocity, all my enzymes should be working. So if I have put 5 enzymes in my beaker, then all my 5 enzymes are forming enzyme substrate complexes and they are working. So which means my total enzyme concentration Et would be equal to the ES concentration. Do you agree to me? What did I say? When the maximum velocity is achieved, that time all my enzymes would be working. That is why I have a maximum velocity. And when will all my enzyme work? When all my enzymes are binded to the substrate. So at maximum velocity, Et is equal to ES. So from equation 2, which I was writing as V0 is equal to K2 ES, I replace ES by Et. And I get new equation that at maximum, when at initial velocity, it was K2 into ES, but at maximum velocity, it is K2 into Et. Okay. So when I get this, I substitute it in equation 10. So I have in equation 10 Et. So for Et, can you see this? I replace it with this. So I have V0 is equal to K2 into ES. I know what is ES. ES is nothing but Et S upon S plus Km. So I have just put in to my equation 1. So now I know what is K2 into Et. Just now we wrote K2 into Et is. So what did I put? I put this equation mein ES, what I got. And then I got K2 into Et, and I know K2 into Et is Vmax. So I got my Michaels-Menten equation, which is equal to V0 is equal to Vmax S upon Km plus X. So this is how Michaels-Menten equation is derived. Go through slowly each step by step as and when I show you in the PDF, and try and write it so that you understand how Michaels-Menten equation is derived. And this equation finally gives us the velocity of the reaction of the that is the rate of reaction, which is given by a nice you can say a graph, which is substrate, which is at the x-axis, substrate concentration, and velocity at the y-axis. As the substrate concentration increases, the velocity of the reaction increases, you can see. So this is literally your directly proportional. However, after some point of time, at this almost, the substrate concentration, even if I increase, the velocity do not increase. So it achieves a plateau, that is a maximum possible velocity. So this is the maximum possible velocity. And half maximum possible velocity is nothing but the Km. How this is derived? They have just substituted half at what happens at half maximum velocity. So my equation is my Michaels-Menten equation was V0 is equal to Vmax S upon Km plus X. So if I substitute Vmax by 2 here, I get Km is equal to S. So which means that at half maximum velocity, the Km is nothing but the substrate concentration I get. So if you see the graph, at half maximum velocity, this is the substrate concentration, which is nothing but or given by Km. So this is my Michaels-Menten curve, which shows that at initially ES complex are formed at the start. However, still free enzyme is present. Then B where all S complex are fused, and at the C they are not available, and hence